What's up, lovely humans? How you doing today, man? Thank you very much for clicking this video. Much love to yourself. Respect. Here we are all about love, peace, forgiveness, and unity. It's all we do every day, all night. You see? Watch till the end and help spread this message straight out of Africa with good vibes, lots of good vibes. Watch till the end and hit the like button kindly. Let's dive in. Good vibes, man.
Have you seen the news out of math class? What would you do if your kid came home and said, I had a test in math class today, and one of the questions didn't make any sense. I don't know if I got it right or wrong. And you're thinking, well, is it 2 plus 2? Is it 4 plus 4? I can help you with that. Is it maybe multiplication? The 9 times 9 stuff? That's pretty difficult. Was it division? Was it long division? Something has changed about math since I was a kid and a lot of you were kids. And that something is they almost want you to, I don't know, give a supposition about what the answer is. The answer might be this, and it might be that. I never used to think math was variable, although the numbers can be variables. I thought that it was exactly 2 plus 2 is 4. Now, it's 2 plus 2 is something, I feel like it's kind of 4.5, maybe 3.257. But this one is even beyond all of that. Here's the actual question from a maths test out of Great Britain. They don't say math, they say maths. Janelle had 15 marbles. She lost some of them. How many does Janelle have now? Couple of problems here. Number one, saying somebody lost their marbles could be sort of an insult that, why aren't you thinking? Why aren't you using your brain? Secondly, you gave me a definitive number of 15. You said she lost some of them. What does that mean? Can't be 14 because that would only be losing one of them. If you lose 2, is that some? I guess it could be. It's more than one, but it really is only 2. It's a couple. Is it a few? A few can be defined as many different things. So if she lost some, what are you supposed to come up with as an answer to ensure you get it right? You give me the answer in the comments, and if you like stories like this, make sure you're following. Come on!
Oh my god, what type of mess is that? Oh. Oh, is that a UFO? Oh.
Well, the question is, does anybody any scientists or anybody that's ever proven that any of the luminaries we see in the sky are even physical, let alone spheres?
Yeah, we can see them in telescopes.
You can see them. So you believe that if you see something that'll tell you its shape. So when I look at this, are these spheres?
Oh.
Are these spheres, Dave? Are these spheres?
Yeah, no, I've seen this little trick, and I know the
it's not a
third
little
one from
trick.
the left is flat.
So how do you know what shape the moon is? How do you know
so
that the moon is even a physical object?
here's
During a new moon, no one
Yeah,
sees
I
the
get
moon
it.
in the sky.
I know your talking points. So this works because that's not moving. The things in the sky move. So if you take the third one from the left, which I know is flat, and you move it around, it's going to start to change shape, right? If the moon was a flat disk, I don't even know if that's one of your talking points or not. As it passed over you, it would change shape. It would
I don't think the
distort.
moon is a flat disk at all.
Okay, so it doesn't matter though. That's why what you're saying is stupid, because these objects do not move. Now, the other problem is it's not just about shape, it's about other things like composition. Do you know what spectroscopy is?
Yeah, spectroscopy is you can measure gases, but it has to be in a container. Where's the container?
No. Stop. We are looking at light. We're looking at light, and we are understanding about the materials, right? We're understanding the composition of things based on light. So when you start talking about gases, you show me immediately that you don't even know what spectroscopy is. So you do not know the ways in which we figure out things about celestial objects. You literally don't even know the definitions of the words that represent the techniques that we use. So why are you even talking about it?
So my question is, spectroscopy needs to be in a container. Otherwise, you don't know what you're looking at.
Spectroscopy needs to be in a container. The study of how light interacts with matter needs to be in a container. What does that mean?
Otherwise, when you're looking at the moon, you don't know what gases you're seeing in between us and the moon.
Gases? The moon is solid. The moon is a solid
How
object.
do you
Oh my god, Is the earth flat or spherical?
They keep taking this video down, so I'm pissing people off, man, but I'm going to do it again. First of all, thanks for pointing out that relativity is not a law. Sure, I made a mistake. I said the law of relativity. Most people say that, but it's a principle, and all you're doing is helping me out by saying that. Secondly, yeah, I didn't put a dot between my 9 and 8, 1 on the equation there, but I'm not talking about the accuracy of that equation. I'm talking about when you put a variable into that equation and the variable is 0, because a magnet has 0 energy. It is at 0 point energy and 0 point gravity, 0 point mass. Electromagnetic fields have 0 point gravity, 0 point mass. You can use an electromagnetic field to generate a gravitational field, allegedly, but listen, this is about how a magnetic field destroys E equals mc squared, gravity, and thermodynamics. I'm trying to do this video again to see if they take it down. It pissed a lot of people off because, well, I'll let you figure that part out. But, so I was corrected on these things because, I'm attacked and because they think I'm a dumb blonde. But listen, I'm telling you what I learned from Nigel Hand years ago in his videos. And if you think for yourself, there's not much to this. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to understand this, or a great mathematician. You're just inserting variables, and the variable is 0. So E equals 0. So E, 0, equals mc squared. Well, this constant is the speed of light, is what I put down there, right? So the constant has to be multiplied times something that equals 0. The mass has to be 0. 0 equals 0. That's the only way you can work that out, if the magnet is equal to 0. And I'm not talking about the actual piece of metal magnet. I'm talking about the electromagnetic field is 0 point energy. Okay? And gravity, the equation for that is F equals ma equals mg equals 9.81 meters per second squared. So that works out to F equals 0 times 0 equals 9.81 meters per second squared. How does that work out? If F equals 0 and mass, acceleration, and mass and gravity equals 0, how is that equal to 9.81 meters per second squared? So, once again, it's not rocket science. It's just filling in the blanks, variables, right? The variable is 0. Because we're talking about a magnet. Because one guy asked me, what has this got to do with the magnet? Well, I'm talking about a magnet and how it defies these principles, okay? So thermodynamics says that matter cannot be created or destroyed. It can only be converted, okay? So you have a car, you have an engine, you have fuel, all produces energy in the form of wind, resistance, and you've got noise and heat, and etc. This doesn't happen with a magnet, a magnetic field, correct? And entropy, electromagnetic fields don't decay, at least not as far as scientists can see, or anyone can see. Now, maybe the magnet does. The actual piece of metal decays eventually, but nobody will probably be around to see that. So this is what I'm doing. I'm showing you that you've been lied to. And that pisses a lot of people off. People who have invested their entire lives into their career doing physics and math and base their belief system upon these principles don't like it when you say a magnet defies those principles. A magnetic field. Because an atom is an electromagnetic field. It is not a particle. It is waves that implode non-destructively. And that is what everything is made of, these waves, which is holographic in nature. It's light. But, we're not bits in a computer. We're made up of these natural organic waves of light that are intelligent. Atoms communicate. And you don't have to have a piece of matter to generate an electromagnetic field, as someone once said recently. No, it can be generated by plasma. That's a different state of matter, isn't it? It's not a solid object, as someone said. So, no, I'm not a physicist, but I'm also not stupid. You know, I'm not a dumb blonde. I've been around for a while, and I know some things. But regardless of that, I'm simply trying to point some things out to help people to break free of their mental programming. What does this have to do with flat Earth? Well, the flat Earth model is basically the torus field, which is the shape of an electromagnetic field, and a primer field, which has two opposing fields of energy which meet in the middle at 0 point inertia, producing a flat plane where matter coalesces in an accretion disk like a galaxy. This happens at the micro level and the macro level. I've explained this in different videos. And this is absolutely possible. It's logical, reasonable. It's not a ridiculous concept. But if you talk about it, people will shut you down immediately. Why is that? Why can't you just talk about a theory? Why is this theory so much under attack? That's the question that you need to be asking. See, scientists know that two models can produce evidence to support the same phenomenon, exact same phenomenon. So you can have a geocentric model and a heliocentric model, and they can both be sound models using math, reason, logic, etc. Scientists know that. They know about inversions. So the question is, why don't they want to talk about the other one if they know for sure that we live in the heliocentric model? Because they should just be saying, well, yeah, that is, a valid model and everything, but that's not our reality. Our reality is this one over here. See? Nobody thinks of it that way. Everybody thinks of it in a polarized way where it has to be one or the other. But it doesn't. This is about getting your ego behind you and investigating the other model so that you can decide for yourself if it aligns with what your experience is in the world.
Oh my god! See, science is very
Angels say,
interesting.
do not fear when they appear to people in the New Testament. Hey everybody, I'm Dan McClellan. I'm a scholar of the Bible and religion, and there's a very clear reason for this. When we look in the Hebrew Bible, we see two different kinds of appearances of angels. If it's just referring to a malach, a messenger, an angel, then the people aren't afraid, and frequently the angels are confused for humans. There's another kind of appearance, though, where it's specifically the angel of Adonai or the angel of God, and in these instances the people fear for their lives. But there's something odd about these appearances. In these stories, the identity of the angel is always conflated with the identity of God themselves. The narrative will go back and forth between saying this is an angel and this is God themselves. For instance, in Exodus 3, it's only verse 2 that says a messenger appeared to Moses in the burning bush. The rest of the chapter, the entity that is speaking to Moses from the burning bush is God themselves. And in fact, in verse 6, they say, I am the God of your fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, the God of Jacob. Something like that happens in every single one of those stories. And we know from Exodus 33:20, God tells Moses, no human can see me and live. There's no passage anywhere where anyone is warned that looking at an angel is deadly. That would defeat the whole purpose of sending an intermediary to begin with. So why are these people so fearful? Most of them say they don't want to look at God, or they're sure they will die because they've seen God. The only place where it is the angel that they're afraid of is with the story of Gideon in Judges 6. But there's a simple explanation for what's going on here. The explanation is that these stories were originally about God themselves interacting directly with humanity and doing the things that God does. And the people are afraid because they know that no one can see God and live. But all these stories represent exceptions to this rule. Somewhere along the way, people became uncomfortable theologically with God interacting directly with humanity. And so scribes started adding the word malach, angel, before the name Adonai or the title God. And they didn't do it in every place in the story, but just in a few of them, because that was rhetorically helpful, because it creates some ambiguity. We have not entirely removed God from these interactions, but we've made it a little obscure, a little confusing. Now the stories are kind of obscure about exactly who it was that was appearing to these people. And this is something that we see in later literature, in the Targumim, in the Septuagint, in the Dead Sea Scrolls. We see the word angel being added to texts in order to distance God from those events. For instance, in Exodus 4:24, God meets Moses and tries to kill him. But the Septuagint translators were uncomfortable with that. So it's not the Lord who tries to kill Moses, it's the angel of the Lord. This happens in a variety of places. And we also have textual evidence that these things have been manipulated. In the Greek translation of Judges 6, for instance, the story of Gideon, the passages where it's God and the passages where it's the angel of God are different from what we have in the Masoretic text. And then in Exodus 3, where it mentions the angel in verse 2, in Josephus's telling of this story, and in the Vulgate's version of Exodus 3, there's absolutely no mention of the angel whatsoever. They probably preserve earlier versions of this story before a scribe wrote the word angel in verse 2. So what happened was we had stories about God themselves visiting people. They feared for their lives, but they didn't end up dying. Scribes write in angels at some point. The New Testament authors now have two different types of angelic appearances, and they decide to treat the fearful appearances as the more rhetorically useful. But when they tell stories of angels visiting humans in the New Testament, they want their angels to come in and say, "Don't be afraid," and then deliver their message.
Oh my God! Ha! That's interesting.
Hey! You, your coffee cup. It's
Oh yeah.
you left it up there.
Yeah, I know.
You know?
Yeah.
Why?
I glued it up here.
Why would you glue it up there?
Well, I used to be kind of lonely, and now everyone waves at me.
Oh. Huh? Huh. Oh my God!
Okay, guys, Sam's Club is owned by Walmart, and Walmart just got in big trouble by someone of the name Tabitha Goldbaum. She's on Twitter, and she did a whole video of it, and I'm going to share it right here. She basically had seen an article that said that Walmart had started putting out lab-grown meat, so she went to her local Walmart, and that article that she read had said that if a magnet stuck to the chicken breast, then it was lab-grown. So she took a magnet and she went to her local Walmart, and she's actually in Los Angeles, California, and here's the video of what she found.
Meat lab-grown stuff and people putting magnets on the meat to see if it's magnetic or if it'll stick to it to prove it's lab-grown. Yeah, this magnet I put on the Walmart chicken breast, guess what? Yeah, it's not falling off. This is all lab-grown meat here. Disgusting. People are eating this here. You notice all these videos are coming from Walmart.
Oh my God! That's a very helpful trick.
This is pretty cool. This is mercury. It's pretty toxic, but it's magnetic. But what it can do is going to blow your mind. It has similar properties to water in terms of interactions with vibrations. That is because it's liquid, but it is a liquid metal, which makes it very interesting. When you push a current through it, it starts to spin. Now, in electrical systems, if we put power into something, we can make it do stuff. If we reverse the process, we can generate electricity. Now, I posted a video a while back about Plasma Channel taking a drone with a piece of metal up into the air and connecting it to the ground with a metal wire. He powered a Corona motor with this. That's because there's a ton of voltage up in the sky. So I got an idea. We plug one of these balls into a pole in the sky like an outlet. And we put some mercury in that ball and spin it, creating a vortex, pulling electricity into the ground. It's not gonna make a lot of power, so I Googled how to double that, and they showed me this resonator that can double it. So once we grab it, I'm gonna put this right under it, and I made it this design because I Googled how energy flows the best, and that's what it showed me. But I wanna share this, so I Googled how to send it, and it showed me this antenna, so I put it on top of the design, and that's finally what I came up with. We could even share it with like a greenhouse to grow crops in the winter. Or we could share it with like anybody. We just have to make our cities look more like that, kinda. I'm about to file a patent, so no one can steal this idea.
Oh my God! This is
Do you remember
very
when
good.
a bald man got offended in the Bible, and so God used 2 bears to kill 42 children? This is my favorite Bible story because it reminds me of just how pro-life God and the Bible really are. This happens in 2 Kings chapter 2, verse 23. Let's read together. And he went from thence unto Bethel, and as he was going by the way, there came forth little children out of the city, and mocking him. And they said unto him, Go up, thou bald head, go up, thou bald head. What might you ask is the appropriate punishment for children mocking a man with a bald head? Let's see what God decided. And he turned back and looked on them, and cursed them in the name of the Lord. And there came forth 2 she-bears out of the wood, and tare, or mauled, 42 children of them. And he went from thence to Mount Carmel, and from thence he returned to Samaria. Just don't forget that the same God that you pray to help you find your car keys is the same type of God that will send bears to kill children.
What they did the best? Oh my god. Ah, yeah. Oh, that's a creepy story. Oh, look at this good vibes kid here that is eating with their bird. Whoa, this is very interesting. Oh, you see, for a bird just to approach you.
I had no idea about this. I didn't talk about this in previous videos because I never went back and read these books that I'd written. I just dictated them, and then I was such a workaholic, I just kept on going with the rest of my life and doing all this other stuff. And I never even went back and read them. So I was totally amazed to find out this prophecy of a first wave of ascension, that it was going to happen by mid-2025, and that there is going to be, as I just said, a full solar flash, but only after everybody's ready for it. So some of us are going to be able to go right into that higher astral body and be ready for the full-blown fourth density right away after this first wave happens. So apparently there will be some people who become incredible superheroes right off the bat. And this could involve telekinesis, this could involve telepathy, this could involve shooting lightning out of your hands, balls of light out of your hands. All these kinds of interesting things appear to be some of the basic stuff. The ability to project thought forms, to project complex visual thought forms. And again, by location, projecting your own essence into your fourth density body. And that's what we're all going to have to learn how to do. And once we're all finished with that, then there is a full solar flash, because now everybody has walked into fourth density, and everybody's walked off the stage of the earth. There's no need to be there anymore. We've all learned how to activate our astral bodies. We go into this new layer of existence, and only then is there the full solar flash. Now, the Law of One actually talks about all this stuff, and they estimate in the books that it's going to take somewhere between 100 to 700 years before this happens. Now, in the meantime, once we go through this first wave of ascension, we all get something that they describe extensively in the Law of One. You can go look it up or read Michael Prophecies again, where they talk about the third, fourth activated body. What the hell is the third, fourth activated body? The third, fourth activated body means that you live in a human body, you still have your body, but you also have your fourth density body activated enough that now it can do things like poltergeist events. It might start causing telekinesis to occur, and at first you don't realize that you are causing it, but it's this other version of you that would be like a ghost that lives at the same time as you are living. So you're interconnected with this consciousness, and it can actually go and move things without your awareness. And so if you look at all the teachings of the classic ancient master yogis, they all talk about the importance of raising your consciousness, and eventually gets to the point where people are having lucid dreams, out-of-body experiences, and in the case of levitating saints, we talk about this in our new movie Levitation. I hope you'll see that coming up. Levitation is going to be incredible. We have all these great stars we're interviewing for this, insiders. So when we see what's possible, it becomes an amazing phenomenon.
Oh my god!
How did this person crash into the side of the mountain? Why? What? This guy just runs and jumps off doing spinning flips over and over and over and over and over and over again, getting insanely close to the mountain. Literally, if you were to hit any of this, it's done. And then he pulls his ripcord right next to the mountain. I mean, look, his parachute comes up right next to the mountain. How didn't he crash? It's
What is that?
No, that is the superpowers.
Did you know that in
Superpowers.
numerology, 14 is the number of neglect, and that the elites have been using it to make you forget about things that are important and to make you work harder and not work for yourself? To begin, let's read 14 as a sentence. We have 1, which is action, and 4, which is work. So anything under the energy of 14 is always in the act of work. And underneath is 5, which is the number of running away. So we have through action and work, we run away. This is why people born on the 14th or those with life path 14s have been neglected in their life. Either they have one parent, 2 parents that don't pay attention to them, or they have no parents at all. And usually this is because that parent has chosen to do some type of work that is more important than them. So let's look at where our first 14 is. And this is in the common phrase, work a 9 to 5. 9 plus 5 equals 14. This phrase was set up on purpose because by agreeing to working a 9 to 5, you are agreeing to neglecting the people around you due to the work that you are doing. This is why the last 100 years have been marked by a rampant work till you die culture. Our next 14 is in the number of days in a year, 365, which adds up to 14. They want us working all year round. If you notice, 1 is a masculine number, meaning that this program is targeted at men. And because the 9 to 5 and the 365 are so targeted at the masculine, this is why we have a rampant disease of neglectful fathers. Now I'm going to blow your mind even further. N is the 14th letter, which is the start of neglect. And I'm going to go over a few more words that they have made us forget were important by attaching 14 to them. To start, we have numerology. If you've noticed, numerology seems to have sprung out of nowhere, even though it is more ancient than any of the other divination practices. This is because by attaching N to it, we have forgotten it. We have not been able to think about it. But look how it's rising back. I have good news for 14. 14 is on the rise because while 14 may be the number of neglect, 14 is the most independent number there is because of this. 14 gets it on its own. It's independent. It has 1 and it works. It works independently. So while these 14s may have been neglected in the past, they are moving up. And this goes for anyone who is born on the 14th or has a life path 14. You will notice that your path is similar to that. Next, we will look at nature. They have made us forget that nature was even important to begin with. We are in an industrial jungle. We don't think about nature at all. They've made us completely lose it, especially with the 9 to 5 and the 365 that we work. Next, we have nutrition. Oh my God, how many unhealthy people do you see in English-speaking countries? We have completely forgotten what a diet was. We are all fat. We eat processed foods. People will sit around and eat Cheetos for an entire day. Nutrition has been completely forgotten and it's out the window. And for you guys following numerology, guess what name starts with the letter N that we seem to have forgotten about? 9. 9. Why'd we forget about 9? Maybe because they attached 14 to it. And now look at me. My expression is a 95/14/5. I kill 9. You don't know about 9? Go on my channel. I absolutely kill it. Only a 14 is not neglecting this stuff. Next, we have nurture. It seems like nurture has completely left this world. It's only just now coming back. And it seems like when we bring it back, it's confusing because they're so used to beating their kids. They're so used to being unemotionally intelligent. Like they don't understand that we could possibly be soft. And it's not even soft. It's literally just emotional intelligence. Nurture, completely forgotten out the window. But I want you to take notice that all these things seem to be rising back up. They're coming back up right now. 14 is on the rise. They're about to hit that independent stride. Next, we have neutrality. No one is neutral anymore. You have to be a Democrat. You got to be a Republican. You got to be for this country. You got to be for this country. I know you know what I'm talking about, but no neutrality ever. No one is able to sit in between an idea. They have to pick a side, or you're bad. You're evil if you don't pick that side. Oh, you suck if you don't pick that side. No neutrality. Forgotten. Now look what else is in. They want you to never notice. They got you forgetting how to notice stuff. That's why you're an NPC. They got people being NPC, non-playable character. Now let me drop some natural 14s on you. We got our hand. I got 2 right here, 3, 3, 3, 3. That's 14 on both of my hands. Same for my feet. 14 is also encoded in my entire body. I have a head, I have a torso, that's 2. I got 3 parts of my arms, that's 6. Then I got 3 parts of my legs, adding up to 14. 14 is not supposed to be neglect. It's supposed to be independent hard work. It's supposed to be working for yourself, but they flipped the script. Now another thing they made you forget, names. You know how powerful your name is? Look at name numerology. No one talks about name numerology. It's all about the birthday. No one's talking about the name. Name is the most important part of numerology because when I talk to you, I communicate with my name. I don't communicate with my birthday. I don't say, hey, what's up, January 15th? I say, hey, what's up, Kyle? Hey, what's up, Samantha? Hey, what's up? Whatever, like that's what I'm communicating with. Names also have power. My name is Gabriel. That means God's defender. My middle name is Troy. That means foot soldier. My last name is Greer. That means watchful and vigilant. I am the watchful and vigilant foot soldier who defends God. You can't forget this stuff. Now a little quick one. 5 is the number of addiction. What do we have high schoolers, middle schoolers addicted to right now? Nicotine. Oh, how did they do that? Now, don't be discouraged by all this information. 14 is on the up and up. Life Path 14s, Expression 14s, Soul's Urge 14s, all of the 14s are moving upwards. If you are a 14, be proud of your number. Be proud of what you've had to go through because you are on the up and up and you are part of the solution. Teach everyone to be independent because you are the best at it. Teach everyone how to work for themselves, how to go on adventures by themselves, how to be themselves. You have no issue with that. And if you made it this far, you must be really interested in numerology. I highly recommend that you pick up a personal reading from me. They are not free, but they are very detailed. I go over all your numbers. And I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, share, comment, and peace.
Good vibes, man. Much love to